Come in. You get stuck.
Hi, Alex. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Jessica Lupo with CDS
Good to
Xerox.
see you again.
Mind if I take a seat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
Yeah, we got a sticky door handle there.
You know, it happens. Before we get started, I want to leave you my business card. We actually updated the logo to CDS Says Yes. So that is our new logo. How are you doing?
Doing good, how are you?
Doing well. Last time we spoke, you had mentioned it was your son's 3rd birthday. How'd that go?
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of energy.
I can't imagine
kids running around.
33-year-olds, you know? They just run around. So exciting.
So,
Did you have a good it was a good birthday?
yeah, it was a good time. The whole family was there, so
So exciting.
always good. A little calm for another year.
Love that.
Yeah.
I know last time we spoke, you had mentioned you are the IT administrator for all of the IT decisions. Has everything still stayed the same?
Pretty much everything stayed the same.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah, we we're still trying to buckle down the security, trying to figure out what's best for us going forward. Obviously there were some growth plans and maybe getting me a little help out in the field so that I don't have to get on the plane so much. So maybe hire a couple people.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So I know for today I have a little agenda similar to the one we had previously.
Okay.
I want to go over the preliminary report we built together for the printers.
Sure.
Ask you a couple of questions about security and possibly hiring new people.
Okay.
And if everything sounds great, I would love to move forward with next steps.
Fantastic.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So I know when we last spoke, we talked about color printing, mobility, and security. Are all those things still the same?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you touch on security a little bit more for me? I know you just mentioned some of those concerns.
Well, security, after that breach, we had to make sure that whatever we're doing going forward is highly secure, because obviously we have very confidential documents for all of our customers. So security is job one.
Okay. And it was a $55,000 breach?
Yeah, about that. It was a ransomware attack, yeah.
That's always a struggle. That's unplanned cost.
Yeah, and then really the credibility issue is the larger one, both internally for our employees and then worse when we have to go and tell our customers.
Right.
So,
how was that process?
It was painful.
Really?
It's a lot of sort of embarrassing conversations to have. That we didn't deliver what we said we were going to deliver.
Right.
And then the process of restoring everything, sort of the cutting the check was the easy part. But the impact of the business was the bigger part that we had to manage.
What do you think would happen if that were to happen again?
It could be awful. I think people see enough hacks on the news that they know we're not the only one this has happened to.
Right.
But if it starts becoming a consistent problem, why would you leave your accounts and your information here?
Right.
So,
do you see those long-term ramifications affecting the business like overall in the next 10 years?
Well, we're trying. I think right now it's been pretty well contained, but we have to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay.
If it happened again, that's a problem. If it happened again fast, that could be devastating.
I can't even imagine.
Right. So
you had mentioned bringing on some people to help mitigate that risk and maybe oversee the satellite offices.
Exactly.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that thought?
Yeah. So we're thinking of maybe adding a person in each location.
So two people.
Yeah, 1 or 2 people, and just trying to take some of the load off me. It's hard to get on a plane and lose a day going back and forth across the country. In addition to the time you're over there, it's preventing me from doing, my day job really,
right.
Which is trying to, we have initiatives and growth plans and things that we're trying to implement that I can't do when I'm traveling back and forth because, the printer isn't working.
Right.
So.
Have you thought about the costs associated with hiring someone in regards to hiring, onboarding? If there's any sort of...
it'll be, I'm sure, at least a 6-figure investment.
Right.
By the time we have somebody, the benefits package. And to your point on the onboarding, it's probably going to be a 3 or 4 month process of going out looking for people, interviewing, making offers, getting them onboarded, and then 8 or 9 months later we see if it's working out, right?
Right.
So so it's a considerable amount of time and investment.
Have you ever thought about outsourcing some of these needs?
We have, and I'm torn on what the benefit is one way or the other.
Right. Okay.
So.
No, that sounds great. I know, looking into the company a little bit deeper, you also have vendor contracts.
Yes.
Is that something that you guys manage in-house?
We manage them in-house.
Okay.
And again, they're all in various stages. Some are new, some are expiring. So.
Okay.
Depending on what the item is, it's all over the place.
So there's no centralized location to see all of those contracts or understand where they are in that life cycle?
Really, just it all lands on my desk.
All on your desk?
So yeah, but I mean, if you were asking me off the top of my head, what's this contract end of that contract? I have to go in our system. I have to look. So.
Sounds like you're a little spread thin.
Yeah, I mean, we set up reminders as a 6 months out or whatever, but it all sooner or later winds up here.
Okay. I know one thing that I see when working with small to mid-sized businesses, there's always a lot of data, and sometimes there's not enough time to analyze the data into a ready-made report. Do you have any of those insights into your security and possibly the printer usage as well?
We have just some very high-level stuff.
Okay.
But frankly, right now, we're spending more time trying to Band-Aid it.
Right.
Than really doing the analytics we probably should be doing.
Okay. So who does those analytics for you?
I have an administrative assistant that helps pull that data together, and then I sort through it.
It could definitely be a timely process, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So from what I'm hearing, we have a very important note on security. I hear a little bit about company growth and making sure that your machinery, systems, processes evolve as your company grows as well.
Right.
What I'm hearing is outsourcing is a possibility. I know you talked about hiring 2 new people. Reporting and data analytics is something that we could definitely hone in on a little bit more in vendor management. Is there anything else that I might be missing?
I think it's really we're just kind of looking to the future. We know what we've had.
Right.
We know what's worked and what isn't working as well as we'd like it to right now. But sort of what's the next generation of it.
Okay.
That's kind of what we're trying to get our arms around. Are there things that are more user friendly? Are there things that allow our people who are becoming more and more mobile to access these systems at the same time? How do we keep the hackers out?
Right.
So somewhere in that mess is where we are.
Okay.
And trying to figure it out.
Well, I definitely want to go through that mess and make sure it's as clear as possible.
Okay.
Would you say that you want to take a more proactive instead of reactive approach to all of this?
Yeah.
All right.
I think right now I'm being pulled in too many different directions to really be adding the value that I'd like to be adding to the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's definitely work through that together. Would you be interested in hearing how CDS can maybe become a trusted partner with IT services as well to really help alleviate that pain so you are freed up?
Yeah.
All right. So CDS Xerox is a full service provider. And what that means is we can not only help you with your printing needs as far as ease of use, mobility, and making sure you could stay in New Jersey instead of traveling to those locations. We could help you with all of those IT issues as well. So we're proactive, not reactive. And the reason why I asked you that question is because we want to make sure we take a futuristic approach to the solutions that we provide to you. Because we understand, as your company grows, we want to make sure you get more printers, you update your security, you have the latest technology. We want to make sure all of that is possible through this type of approach. How does that all sound?
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. So moving forward, when thinking about your IT environment, we take a 5-step approach.
Okay.
So what we do is we assess your environment, we stabilize it in case there's anything that's currently being outdated or something that we could update. We implement these updates, we monitor all of it, and in the future, as we gather data analytics, we're able to optimize our approach. How does that all sound?
Sounds good.
And I know we talked a little bit about as far as data and data analytics goes, to understand your printers and its usage. In our previous meeting, you said the accountants went color crazy. Well, with this type this type of technology, you're able to get an approach and a report that is on whatever cadence you like, whether it be by department or by user, to understand their usage by color and black and white or whatever analytics you want. But you're able to also see who's been in the system from the back end and the front end.
Oh, great.
How does that all sound?
Yeah, so I can see who the heavy users are and if we need to amend behavior and
may have a conversation, constructive feedback.
Yep.
But these are all ready-made reports, so no longer is your IT staff having to gather all of that data and sift through it, and no longer are you having to figure out what the real insights are, because it provides it to you in a ready-made report.
Great.
How does that all sound?
Yeah, it sounds really good.
And I know moving towards security, one thing that we do offer is a managed IT service.
Okay.
And I say this because a lot of times when people think of Xerox, they just think of a printer. But, right? It's so much more than that. So what I want to touch on is end user support and device support.
Okay.
So what this means is by having it outsourced to CDS Xerox and myself, no longer are you going to have to hire the staff. And I say this because when we think about costs of staff...
You're talking about the two additional people. Okay.
Right. So when I'm thinking about those costs, average IT admin is $55,000. On top of the average cost to find them, which is $4,000 in recruiting. To train them, it's around $4,000 on top of an 8 to 26 week ramp-up time.
Sounds about right.
And when I say that, ramp-up time, meaning it takes them 8 to 26 weeks to actually understand the business and reach 100% productivity. So when I'm thinking about these costs, times 2, you're looking at $125,000.
Right.
And then when we think about attrition, these individuals leave after 3 years. So do you think you could manage $125,000 every 3 years in IT personnel?
Not easily.
Not easily. I don't think I could either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're a growing company. We're doing well, but I mean, there's only so many dollars.
There's only so many dollars.
Yeah.
And that's where I think offshoring that with CDS Xerox can definitely benefit you.
Okay.
Because you have a regular one-time fee every month to really understand the managed services that we provide you.
And so what services are those? I mean, the printer breaks down in San Francisco. Do you have somebody sitting in San Francisco? Is it like they're in our building or they're off-site and they come when they're called?
So what happens is 85% of printer IT problems can be solved remotely.
Okay.
And then that 15%, if it is a hardware issue where someone does need to come out, we send a technician out for you.
And you have somebody in the area, or is it like a 3-day wait, or how does it?
So, someone in the area. It happens within 24 hours.
All right,
4 hours if
fantastic.
it's critical.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
Faster than a plane flight.
definitely saves a little bit more time too.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I think about the managed IT service we could provide you, it would be a trusted partnership where you are managing this service. It's kind of like a small business, so you have full control. We also have vendor management within this, so no longer are you having to manage all of those vendors. It would come right to me.
Okay.
So if you call me, Jess, I need help with this right now, no problem, we'll get it done. And then that's it for you. And on the back end, I'm going to work with the vendors to make sure I negotiate a good contract, make sure you're getting the best value possible, and it saves you time.
Sounds good.
Not only that, but we have data protection and unified threat management. And how we do this is working with McAfee and Cisco. So you have that universal protection that has a global presence in conjunction with Xerox to make sure security is locked down.
Yeah, that's going to be the big, obviously the big issue is, if we're outsourcing that security piece, it can't fail.
Right. No, we definitely understand that, and that's why we use Xerox, which is a global partner. Xerox is actually used by 10 out of the 10 global banks, 10 out of 10 largest universities in all 50 states for the U.S. government. So as far as credibility goes, these are businesses that trust us and have security in mind.
Yeah, the global banking, sure.
Yeah. How does this all sound?
Sounds very interesting.
Would you be interested in a further presentation? We could bring in more individuals if that's something of interest and bring in more materials as well.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how we can tailor something a little bit, to our unique needs.
Definitely.
And the cost and benefits associated with that.
Would love to do that. I also have the contract that we created together, so if this is something you want to review. But would next Thursday at 2 p.m. sound all right for you and your team?
Yeah, sounds good.
Incredible. It was such a pleasure, Alex. Thank you so much.
Good seeing you again.